sexual assault services. I know a lot of you here. I'm absolutely thrilled to see you here. For those who haven't met me yet, I suppose the most important thing I'd like you to know about me is that I'm a returning staff member at DVSAS. I was the rural advocate from 2017 to 2020, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be back in this role as interim executive director. So thank you again for being here tonight. By the way, I've been in my role for 1 month, and so I'm reporting on a lot of things that I can't take direct credit for, but I'm very proud of the organization, and I'm more than happy to sing its praises. It has been an incredible year. There's been many victories, a lot of growth in the organization, and most importantly, progress in supporting survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault in our community. It's great to see a lot of familiar faces in the room tonight. You've all been instrumental in helping survivors in our community through your support of our organization. We could not do this without you. I would like to start out by giving a heartfelt shout out to our first responders. You all play a critical role in protecting our community, especially when responding to domestic violence. I know we have several first responders and law enforcement in the room tonight. Can I ask for a show of hands? Your courage and dedication are unmatched, and your work is not unnoticed. And neither is the trust our community places in you. This also, by the way, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that I'm a former employee of the Washington County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and so I thank the prosecutors for their role in the domestic violence response too. That is absolutely extraordinary. Thanks to grant funding that we received recently, which allowed us to increase capacity and provide some training, such as the danger assessment training module that our staff participated in, and a lethality assessment protocol training for our law enforcement partners. Together, we've been even better equipped to assess risk and respond effectively. This year alone, we have seen over 300 LAPS, the lethality assessment protocol referrals, with nearly 2/3 of them being classified as high risk. That is 300 times that you've helped someone take the brave first step towards safety. So together, I can safely say that we are saving lives. The other responders we work closely with are the amazing SANE nurses at Peace Health. And SANE is an acronym for Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner. We've been called to the hospitals to support clients going through sexual assault forensic exams more than 52 times this year alone. The strong collaboration between the hospital team and our advocates means that people going through one of the worst experiences of their lives have a seamless team providing robust advocacy and support. Let us turn now internally to DVSAS's Safe Housing Program. Our volunteers and staff deserve a round of applause for their tireless support at the shelter. From organizing work parties to replacing the play area, thanks to generous funding from the Burlington Foundation and Women Sharing Hope, you've transformed our shelter into a place of respite and renewal once again. Shelter residents are taking pride in their living spaces, and it's not uncommon to see kiddos playing and laughing, building the kind of memories that every child deserves. We are so grateful to our supporters, and we're delighted to announce some much-needed capital and unrestricted funding, the love language of every nonprofit organization. First, from the Mary Kay Ash Foundation and Superfeet, they have generously helped fund a new generator for one of our shelter facilities to ensure that we can continue to operate safely regardless of the weather or other natural disasters. And we are thrilled to receive some amazing capital improvement funds from Whatcom County and Washington State, which will bolster our ability to serve even more people. These funds will go toward a new HVAC system, new driveways at our shelter properties, new siding, and new windows. These are not the flashiest projects, but they are truly necessary for the continued safe operation of the DVSAS shelter facilities. We continue to work closely with our partners at the Washington State Coalition Against Domestic Violence and amazing state legislators. I saw at least one walking in the room And to stabilize funding for domestic violence and sexual assault services in Washington State, as well as we have local partners like Connolly Victims of Crime and folks who work within the small cities in Washington County to ensure that survivors receive the support they need in Bellingham and far beyond. Together, we are laying the groundwork for long-term sustainable change. This past winter, we were able to temporarily expand our emergency shelters via safe motel stays, thanks to a partnership with Opportunity Council and Whatcom County. Not only were we able to offer more bed nights for survivors during those cold and rainy months, but we did it using our shelter advocacy model to continue to support clients with no disruptions. Our capacity to provide emergency shelter continues to grow, and we are proud to say that the shelter continues to be a supportive place where many survivors of domestic violence take their first steps on the road to healing. We are delighted to be able to partner with Whatcom County and Opportunity Council again this winter. We also continue our partnership with Lydia Place. I know we've got a couple of Lydia Place folks in the room. Hey, thank you. And let's clap for the county. I saw at least one county person here. We work with Lydia Place on housing and case management because we also agree that every family deserves a home. And we know that a stable home is a critical step in breaking the cycle of abuse. We've also been able to restart a parenting plan clinic in collaboration with law advocates. And we do have law advocates folks here as well. That parenting plan clinic will provide critical support for parents navigating difficult transitions, ensuring that families get the legal support they need during such tough times. As a former program-based advocate at DVSATS myself, I would be remiss if I didn't lift up the incredible work accomplished by our advocates who provide 24-hour support and a host of essential programs for survivors at DVSATS. May I see a show of hands for all DVSATS staff, whether you are client-facing or not. Thank you so much. And I know we have some DVSATS volunteers in the room as well. These staff and volunteers, keep our engines running, providing either direct client services or back office support. It all helps keep us going. It all matters. The numbers behind these programs and the output that we have, they tell quite a story. Since January, we have served 986 unique clients, totaling over 6,500 hours of support. We have answered 828 hotline calls on a 24/7 basis. That's including nights, weekends, and holidays. I know that is the definition of 24/7, but I mean, we are always available to respond to folks who are experiencing domestic violence, sexual assault, or maybe they just have questions and want some education, and we help them with that too. Another thing that we do around the clock, I mentioned that there were 52 hospital calls to St. Joe's this year so far alone. We do respond to sexual assault calls at St. Joseph's Hospital, and that's a very intensive form of advocacy. It can often happen in the middle of the night when an advocate receives a call on the helpline and they suit up, drive over to St. Joe's, and report to duty for accompanying the survivor through a sexual assault forensic exam. It is absolutely an essential service, and it's one of the most valuable services that we offer at DVSATS. We also, within the last year and a half or so, I'm now piecing together a timeline in my head. We're thrilled to be able to say that we have client-facing advocates who are able to provide advocacy in person and over the phone in both Spanish and Russian. And any of you who know me know how much I value language access, and so that is something that I'm thrilled to be able to tell you on behalf of DVSATS. We also provided 6,069 bed nights of shelter and provided emergency housing for 110 individuals, including 47 children. These are not just numbers. They represent lives changed, families healed, and futures reclaimed. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the importance of expanding prevention education, and I am excited to share that we've brought the School-Based Empowerment Project into 2 new schools this year. Prevention is key because while it is essential to help survivors, it's just as crucial to stop the cycle of violence before it starts. Now we have a few real victories from our shelter program that do deserve to be celebrated. And just so you know, the names have been changed per usual. We have Alicia, whose major victory is that she finally made it out of state on her 4th attempt to leave an abusive relationship. And any of you who work with domestic violence survivors know that it can take several attempts to successfully leave. Our team has been working with her for years, and we are so glad that she's safe now. Her perseverance is inspiring to us. Taylor, a survivor facing extremely high lethality, had to change their identity twice to escape their abuser. They are now thriving and making friends in their new location. Sandra was a fierce advocate for herself and her child. After entering our emergency shelter, she regained custody of her child. They transitioned out of our single shelter to our family shelter and now onto supported housing. Finally, Margot just signed a lease and is moving into her own place, just in time for her little ones to experience Halloween in their new home. These are stories that remind us of why we do what we do. These victories are shared by all of us. The survivors, the advocates, the board of directors, many of whom are here in this room tonight. Actually, quick round of applause for the board of directors. Hands from current and past board members. That's wonderful. Volunteers, of course, and the community. That's all of us. Thank you again to all for your unwavering support, your dedication, and for standing with us as we continue to build a community free from domestic violence, sexual assault, and sexual exploitation. Let's celebrate the progress we've made and continue working together for the victories that are yet to come. And now,